Okay, we're going to do a little video on the Krondof farm shed. Looking at the panels here from the back, the 30 panels that are up the back here on the top of the shed are for the running the solar pump. If you look to the left hand side, there's two isolators. Those are the isolators that turn these panels on and off. They run down the left hand side down back towards the pump shed, if you can see there, then down the side, underground, and down to the pump shed. Okay, the bottom panels, which is 45 down here, the isolators are in that centerpiece here, and you notice that they're in groups of 5. These are the solar panels for powering the batteries. There's another 10 on the side of the shed, which I'll get to in a second. Okay, these are the 10 panels on the western side of the shed. The isolator is located here to the left in the center. These go up to, if you can see that box underneath the panels up the top here, is a combiner box. All the panels in groups of 5 are then combined into that one box, then fed back down into the shed. Okay, we're now in the battery shed. Inside here, which you can just see, are all the batteries. There's 60 batteries, and each battery is 1,200 amp hours. From the batteries, we go to this unit here, which is a fuse breaker, which is rated at 250 amps. The solar panels that we were looking at before come in through this to the solar panel isolator. That isolator switches all the panels on and off. It doesn't switch the top panels that feed the pump shed. It's only for the batteries. So from there it goes into the solar charge controller. The solar charge controller gives you the following information. You can press this button here and it will give you various information on what's going on. To get back to the original one, you just press that back. At the moment we can see that the batteries are about 3/4 charged. It's a pretty crappy day today. But anyway, from here, that goes down to what we call a common DC bus. All of the DC power is fed into these two circuits here, which in turn, from here, we feed up to this isolator, which feeds the 25 kilowatt inverter. The other line goes back over here through to this isolator, which is disconnected at the moment, which is the 3-phase, is for the 3-phase inverter. And at the moment the 25 kilowatt single phase inverter is running. The 20 kilowatt 3-phase inverter is not. But if I show you, I'll just open the door on the single phase inverter. It's a bit of a trick. You press this button and turn the handle. Right, inside here you can see that we have DC input breaker. This is the feed DC power from the batteries feeding into the inverter. We have here an AC input breaker, which is switched off at the moment. This is to accept power from a generator as backup, and we have the AC output breaker, which at the moment is switched on to feed the shed and the pump house. It's pretty well all you need to know. The only thing is that if you want to stop this unit or shut it down, first off you switch this isolator down, which cuts the power. You then turn the start switch to off, and then you change this DC feed in and switch that off. That will take some time to power down because there's quite a bit of power inside this thing. I'll shut the door. You can check what's going on by just pressing this button. It gives you a menu, and if we press 1, it tells you that there's 133 volts of DC going in, AC going out is 239 volts AC, and AC consumption, the frequency is 50 Hertz. That's really all, most of the information you need from here. Now, anything else you need to know? Pretty well, the best thing to do when you're looking at this is just to check what's going on here. It gives you the level of the batteries, the battery voltage, the solar panel feed-in voltage, and what current's going in. So at the moment there's a 14.8 amps going in, which is pretty low considering its maximum is 105 amps, but it's raining outside, so we're not getting much solar. Okay, we're now over at the pump house. The 30 panels that I showed you originally, they're fed into this isolator here, DC isolator, and the mains power from the inverter from the shed is fed into this board here. This board, I'll just quickly show you. I can open the door. Okay, this is the light and power pump 2, which is the garden pump, I think that's called. This one over in the corner, which is running on 240 at the moment. The other isolators is for pump inverter and the ball pump. Okay, so that's your AC coming in. The inverter 1 that's got the error showing, but I'll show you what that is in a minute. That one there is pump is here, which is ball pump. 2 and 3, which are these, 3 and 4, which are these ones here, which feed these pumps feed the Vineyard. Okay, now a very important thing here is that warning multiple supplies. So at the moment the DC power is feeding into these 2 units, also the AC power. Now the 3 and 4, the Vineyard pumps, they're started in auto from this timer, which is a mechanical timer, and that once that unit starts, it automatically also starts the ball pump, which is set for start. So that just stays on start. There's a float in the tank so that it'll always keep the tank full, and it just stays on start. Now I'll just show you this issue with the fault, because it's basically over voltage fault from the solar panels. So when that fault's shown, all you've got to do is press this button here, which has got the texter mark on it, and that resets it. Not today. Okay, so we're over voltage, which means that if I start this pump here, turn this off. Now this timer, to start this timer, you must turn this all the way over and then set it to where you are what time you want it. Now I'm just going to set it for a short period. Now I'm going to start the ball pump onto auto. Now I should be able to reset this. The reason why it's reset is because the voltage at the moment is 403 volts and it's reached its maximum voltage, which is 415 because it's not running. So that now will run automatically and it'll switch automatically from mains to solar. At the moment it's running on solar. So that's basically all you need to know. So that goes just as a quick run through. Motor protection circuit, diodes for not feeding power back into the inverter in the shed. That's all automation control, and these are the circuit breakers for both the units. There's a fan, there's two filters in the corner, and also a fan that automatically comes on to keep with a thermostat here which is set at 30 degrees. So once the temperature in the cabinet reaches above 30 degrees, this fan will kick in. So now we've got the ball pump running and the irrigation pumps here running. Whoa. This, once this timer shuts off, this will automatically shut down and this will automatically refill the tank. Not much more to talk about in here. I'll just go outside and just mention the ball pump. We've got the pump set down here at about, it's set at about 83 meters. And what we've done is we've put some small in here, some small LEDs. These will light up if the bore starts to run low on water. We put the pit in here as well. It's probably worth mentioning. This pit is the connection to the house, the shed, and the farm shed. The 4 cables coming in are 16mm cables are coming in from the house supply, which is now, instead of taking power, is delivering power. The 25mm cables head off to the pump shed, and there's an in-feed of 2 25mm cables which come in from the main shed and the inverter. One little trick that we discovered, this is basically the line of the cabling, which is from here past the bore pump to this point here, and then back over to the pit is basically your power supplies. Just go back into here, around the back here. A little trick to note, this power supply here was actually fed from the circuit breaker in the little shed along the pathway from the house. All the other power supplies that are outside from that, there's one over there, there's one here, I think you can see those ones over there, they're fed from this switchboard here. That's pretty well the lot, I reckon.